What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to Light to Metal. It's time for a rock metal update. That's right. Time for rock and metal update. Got a little time tonight. Haven't done one of these in a while, and got a pile of records here. This is not everything I've picked up, but it's a few things that I've been holding on to show in a video. And I'm going to start off with a classic band. This is new wave of British heavy metal band, Status Quo. I screwed it up right away. Vardis, and this is Quo Vardis. Now, Quo Vardis were a band formed in 1973, as I recall, who stuck it out until they got around 1978 when they dropped the Quo portion of it and just called themselves Vardis. And of course, Vardis released one album in 1980, another one in 82. This being their third album from 83. And I'm not an expert on this band by any stretch of the imagination, but as I recall, this was kind of some of the older songs that they had written back in the day. So it's a little different than the more, AC/DC-ish heavy metal that they did on the first two albums. A little more boogie rock kind of stuff. A little more 70s sounding, not unlike Status Quo. And from what I understand, these guys are all huge Quo fans as well, Status Quo fans. So there you go, Quo Vardis, the third album. This is a reissue on Back on Black Records. Sounds fantastic. Just one I've never owned. I have the first two. I've got singles by them, 12-inch singles, 7-inch singles. I never owned this one. So I'm glad to finally have a copy. Glad it's, accessible and not overly priced, so you can pick it up, fairly expensively right now. Okay, I just have to do something here. We'll just switch them around like that. Next up, I've had this one on CD for years, and I've had the vinyl on my watch list for years, and it was just always, $35 and $40. I just didn't want to pay that much, so Hellstar. Now, I'm a huge James Rivera fan, so it was just a matter of time before I finally got around to getting the vinyl of this. This being their Vampiro album from, 2017. So, yeah, it's 3 years old now already. So, it took me a while to get to vinyl. Usually I'm much quicker than that, especially on a band like Hellstar. But I did end up getting the CD first, so that's probably why I wasn't in a big rush to get the vinyl. But regardless, double LP set, classic American power metal with one of my all-time favorite vocalists, James Rivera, a powerhouse who, in my opinion, is every bit the equal to guys like Ronnie James Dio, Rob Halford, Bruce Dickinson, Jeff Tate. I mean, those guys, those high-level guys that everybody thinks of as the voices of metal. That's kind of how I believe James Rivera is. So, next up, epic metal from Manila Road. This is a high roller release of Before Leviathan. So, Out of the Abyss was picked up by Leviathan Records, and when they were picked up by that label, Leviathan decided they didn't like the mix that the band had done previous to signing them, and they wanted it remixed. So went for a cleaner sound with Leviathan, but the band kept that first mix that they liked, which is a more raw, heavy sound, and that's what this is. So that's why it's Out of the Abyss Before Leviathan, because it's a completely different mix than the one that was released on Leviathan Records. This is another high roller release. I don't know if you can call this a reissue or not, just because it's a different mix. So I would call it a reissue regardless of the mix. But yeah, Mark the Shark Shelton, of course, guitar and vocals, and we lost him a couple years ago now. But yeah, classic record, epic metal. If you're into bands like Sirith Ungol, you're probably going to dig a band like Manila Road. Power trio, great stuff. Classic heavy metal band. New release from Heathen. Now, it seems to me people are either loving or hating this new album, and I don't know why people are hating it. Actually, I do know why. It's just less thrashy than the band has been in the past. It's a little more closer to a power metal sound than it is to a thrash sound, and I think that's what people don't like about it. But I just don't expect bands to create the same album every time. I don't think it's that far off from the Heathen sound that you can't enjoy it. It's definitely metal. It's not like they've gone to some alternative sound or they're rapping or something weird like that. But anyhow, Empire of the Blind is, to me, a solid speed metal slash thrash metal slash power metal record. Double album sets with 3 songs on each side. Kind of getting tired of all these double albums with 2 and 3 songs on each side. I mean, it's like having to play singles. You know, you're having to constantly get up and change the records. But whatever, that's just me complaining because the music on here is great. Cool cover. Glad to have some new Heathen in 2020. At least something good came out this year. 2020 has not been a great year, huh? All right, some more new releases. This album's fantastic. I wasn't expecting it to be... No, I shouldn't say I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. I was expecting to like it as much as I like it. But this is the new Blue Oyster Cult album. And the name of the album is slipping my mind. The Symbol of something or other. The symbol remains. There you go. Blue Oyster Cult. Again, double album set. But this is a pretty long album. But this is good stuff. You know, a lot of these older bands, you know, they I don't know, their later albums tend to be kind of paint by number, or they go blues, or, you know, something like that. This is classic Blue Oyster Cult. This is a really good record from them. I mean, I'm really impressed. I was, like I said, really surprised by how much I enjoyed this record. I don't know why I shouldn't be. I mean, it is, you know, it's Blue Oyster Cult, and they really haven't released a bad record. But I guess just at this point in the career, I wasn't expecting something so good. Gatefold, pictures of the band. And, of course, you do have Eric Bloom and Buck Dharma in the band still. You know, the 2 main characters here, and both are doing some vocals. But you also got Richie Castellano, who also does some vocals. Yeah, it's, again, if you like that 70s heavy metal, hard rock sound, call it what you will. I've argued with enough people in the last 2 weeks about heavy metal not existing in the 70s. I'm just tired of hearing it, to tell you the truth. I mean, I was around the 70s, and I called it metal back then, and I still call it metal today. I don't really care if what people think, frankly, but I think history is history, so if you like that sound, you're probably going to dig this record. It really is a solid, kind of dark Blue Oyster Cult record with a lot of variety from song to song. They get into a little bit of a boogie rock sound here and there, but for the most part, it's just good, solid, hard rock. Another new release. This one's fantastic. One that I've played 30 times since I've received it. I bought the CD and the vinyl, and I've been playing the CD in my car a lot, but this is a brand new Raven. My goodness, what a great record. This is Metal City, brand new album from 2020 from the new wave of British heavy metal, you know, athletic rock, speed metal band, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, if you like Raven, if you like classic Raven, Rock Till You Drop, you know, that whole era of Raven, isn't there a reason why you wouldn't like this? It's got that manic speed, and it's got variety and tempo from song to song. So not every song is fast. It's just not speed for speed's sake. It's got the otherworldly vocals of John Gallagher. You know, the over-the-top guitar playing and guitar slinging of Mark Gallagher. And the new drummer's name is escaping my mind, but yeah, he does a great job on the drums. He's not really new anymore. He's been with him for quite a while now. Let's see here, where's the inner sleeve? So kind of got comic books there, and the CD itself has these same pages in it. So yeah, it's a great album. It definitely will make my top 10 of the year. Of course, being a huge Raven fan to begin with, it's no surprise for me that I like it so much, because Raven really haven't released an album since Pack Is Back that I haven't liked. That was really the only album from Raven that I didn't care for. And even that album, there's songs on it that I dig. Again, colored vinyl. It's on this kind of violet, translucent vinyl. So good stuff from Raven. If you like Raven, like I said, All For One, Rock Till You Drop, Wiped Out, any of that kind of stuff, you'll probably dig this. It's a really great record. Next up is another new record, another new release. This is Frehley's Origins Volume 2. Another covers record, so you've got all kinds of stuff on here. Good Times, Bad Times, Never My Life, Space Truckin'. Space Truckin' is a lot of fun. He does a really good job with Deep Purple Space Truckin'. Space Ace Truckin', he calls it. He sings it in the song. I'm Down, Beatles, of course, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Stones, Politician, Lola, 30 Days in the Hole, really cool choice of a cover. Manic Depression, of course, Ace is a huge Hendrix fan. Kicks, We Gotta Get Out of This Place, and a cover of Kiss's own She, and a very good cover at that. I enjoyed it. I've listened to it quite a few times already, and really like it. Of course, I'm a huge Ace fan, and I kind of like his quirkiness, his can't sing, don't care style vocals, his kind of loose guitar playing, because he's a feel player as opposed to a technical player, and I just really enjoy his stuff. And I thought this was a really good release from him. There's a reissue of an album that is really hard to find. Valor, Fight for Your Life. I think the original came out in, what, 87? 88, according to this. Of course, they also had a demo that was released before that. Actually, oddly enough, I have the original demo sitting right here. Here's the Valor Masquerade demo from, what, 87? But yeah, this is a reissue of the full-length album. Valor are obviously a very underground band. They are a Christian band, and they kind of ride the fence between thrash and like American power metal kind of stuff, like Metal Church. Pretty dark stuff. In particular, the intro to Burn is really, really, really dark, as you hear all these people kind of, I don't know, burning in hell or something like that, and screaming in agony and torment. But yeah, it's if you like, you know, I don't want to call it B grade because that downgrades something. It's not really B grade. It's just not well known. So if you like underground metal, Valor, Fight for Your Life, this is a cool one, worthy of picking up. I know that BoonesOverstock.com has copies of this if you're interested. Valor, Fight for Your Life. I was out in, this is a few months ago now, but I was out in Vegas visiting my sister-in-law, and my daughter-in-law got married. So while I was out there, I checked out a couple record stores, and I really just didn't find much. But I did grab this one for $5. Picture. And this is Eternal Dark. A really good album. You know, this is not in the greatest of shape. If you look, I mean, I've got it all cleaned up and everything, but if you look, you can see it's a little beat up. It's not too bad especially for $5, and it plays fine. But yeah, it's just classic heavy metal. You know, I can't remember some years when it came out. It was 80s, early 80s at some point. Don't see a year on here anywhere. I'm thinking it was like 84, 85, something in that area. But yeah, so really cool pickup. Not something I expected to find, and I actually found this in one of those kind of chain stores as well. And they're just mixed in with their new stuff was this album. So I was, snagged it up, $5, well worth grabbing. This one, I hadn't been to a record store in New Mexico where I live since March when they closed everything down. And I don't know, about 3-4 weeks ago, my grandson was with me for the weekend, and we were just spending the day together. And I'm like, "What do you want to do?" And he's like, "Let's go to a record store, Pop." I was like, "Okay." So we drove down to Charlie's Records in Albuquerque, and I went through almost every record in there. And again, I didn't find much that I was looking for, that I was interested in, but I did grab this. Again, it was cheap, but it was like $4 or $5 and really good condition. But this is Ronnie Montrose, Open Fire. This is Ronnie Montrose's instrumental album. This is Ronnie giving a chance to just strut his stuff. It's not like you think of instrumental albums, you tend to think of like the 80s, Yngwie Malmsteen kind of stuff where it's just, nothing but noodling. And it's kind of has some of that vibe, but really it's a little more restrained than that, and it's got a little more songwriting to the songs as opposed to just, a riff to noodle over, or, wank your guitar to. But I really enjoyed it, and honestly, as much as I liked the Montrose albums, the first 2-3 Montrose albums, I never really heard this record, and I really only picked it up because I was like, I didn't find anything else, but I didn't want to walk out of the store, and I mean, these stores are struggling because of the COVID stuff, especially here in New Mexico, where our governor keeps shutting everything down and just shut us down again for another 2 weeks. The entire state is shut down again. don't know how these stores are surviving. But anyhow, I just didn't want to walk out with nothing, so I picked this one up. I'll check it out. You know, what can it hurt for $5? And then my grandson found something he wanted to, so you know, I spent a few bucks in the store, and I'm really happy. I'm really pleased with this. This is a good album. If you're into instrumental albums, if you like Jeff Beck's instrumental albums, you probably would dig this Roddy Montrose album too. Kind of has a similar vibe. You know, it's not just, I don't know, it's not just noodling over top of riffs. There's just some substance to it, and really enjoyed that about it. Okay, so I don't know, a few months ago I did a video on thrash metal. I did like my top 20, it wasn't even my top 20, but just 20 of my favorite thrash metal albums. Then I followed it up with another 20, and then I followed it up with another video. So I ended up doing like 3 videos in a row of favorite thrash metal albums, and I love thrash metal. So I just kept digging deeper and deeper and deeper. And I think I did a 4th one where I showed just obscure thrash metal stuff. And in one of those videos, someone said, "Hey man, you ever heard of this band, Creekshalters?" I think that's how you say it. Creekshalters are from Sweden, I think. I always mix up Sweden and Switzerland. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure they're from Sweden. And they're kind of a crossover thrash band. Got a little bit of more of a punk edge than a lot of thrash coming out at the time. But yeah, this is great stuff. Even the logo, they kind of have that punk-looking logo right there. Yeah, it is definitely thrash metal. It's not punk, but you can hear that they kind of have a punk edge to their sound. And from what I understand, they started off as a punk band and actually crossed over into thrash metal. Not unlike a band like DRI did, or The Crucified, another one that, you know, started off as a punk band, ended up going thrash. But really enjoyed this album. Picked that up, and then I also picked up this 12-inch single from the same seller. Neither one of them were real expensive. This is a 4-song EP. Hagelterskelter. Yeah, I don't know. But so we got an intro and then a word I can't pronounce. Fleischo Carousel. Who am I to judge? Submission. Let us be merry, and the end is closing in. Chicken Brain Records. I think it even says Sweden on here. Yep, so I was right. So it is Sweden. Anyhow, so I do listen to you guys when you say, "Hey man, check this band out, check that band out." I usually do check them out. You know, I'll check them out on YouTube, or I'll just buy a record if I can find it cheap enough. And this is one of those bands that somebody suggested, and thanks, man. I discovered another thrash band I like, so very cool. And then you know what? I have one more. I'm gonna have to get up and get it because it's right there. I was playing it earlier, I just forgot to grab it. Showed up today. Power Up, AC/DC. I only heard it once. The single from this, which is Shot in the Dark, I was impressed. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, it's not like you're gonna be shocked by something AC/DC puts out at this point, but if you like classic AC/DC sound, it's a really good record. I enjoyed it. Played it all the way through today, and very good. Thumbs up. I don't know what else to say. It's AC/DC. If you like AC/DC, you got, you know, it's got that classic AC/DC sound. It's kind of some cool. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can get in here or not. I think mine is just black. Yeah, black vinyl. I think there's all kinds of editions out there you can get on vinyl, and I think they got like CDs that glow and all kinds of stuff like that. CD boxes that glow. I just pre-ordered the vinyl, so really great, really great. Brian Johnson again on vocals. You know, there was always rumors that Axl Rose was going to do vocals on the next AC/DC record, but it's not. It's Brian Johnson. Sounds fantastic. Great album, and very, very happy with it. So there you go. That's my update for what month are we in now? November of 2020. Appreciate y'all watching. God bless. Stay strong.